2006 Toyota Tacoma right there. The customer says he'll just be driving it and it feels like it's running out of gas. He called me and said, I'm stuck on the side of the road, it won't even go anywhere. So I said, tow it in, we'll take a look at it. Now he's already replaced the fuel pump and the MAF sensor, and it still didn't fix this. So let's get in it, let's scan it, we'll see if we can figure out what's wrong with this Tacoma. See what kind of codes we have. Okay, it doesn't have a lot of modules, but we have several codes in the engine computer: system lean, cat efficiency, cat efficiency. System lean, that can definitely cause it not to start because maybe it's not getting enough fuel. System too lean. System too lean, system too lean. So is this thing running out of fuel? I'm not going to clear the codes just yet. I want to see some freeze frame data. No freeze frame. Well, that stinks. Okay, I got some data PIDs pulled up. We got the coolant temp sensor. That can make it run lean if it's out of spec. Long-term fuel trim, oxygen sensor output voltage downstream, because it says sensor 2, and oxygen sensor voltage. I looked for the output voltage of bank 1 sensor 1, but I could not find it, so I'm not sure if that's a bias voltage or not. And then we got short-term percentage, short-term trim. Let's just see if it'll even start. Oh, it's just starting and dying. Try to get this thing in the garage, but it might be a challenge. I'm just gonna keep popping the clutch here and come on, come on. We're trying. There we go. Oh, I'm getting there. Coasting. At least we can duplicate the fault. Oh my gosh. That's a miracle. I ain't got nobody here today, so I gotta figure out a way to get it in. This thing acts like it just ain't getting no fuel, right? He said he replaced the fuel pump. I don't know. I mean, that's the first thing I'm going to check. Let's see if it has fuel pressure. All right, we're going to hook a battery maintainer up, and then we're going to have to check fuel pressure. Okay, here is the fuel pressure lines. So we have, this one is the supply line, and this one's the return. And how you can tell is right here is the regulator, that if there's too much fuel pressure, this regulates back this way. So we need to plug a fitting on right here in between these two ports and see if we got good fuel pressure. I'm going to spray these down. It'll help undo the clips. Okay, let me see if I can get this clip off. There's 2 tabs on the side here. These are pretty good for getting the tabs on the side. They're called hog ring pliers, I think. or hose pliers. Okay, I got them pushed in. You don't have to crush them. All right, absolutely no fuel squirted out, which is odd. So let's hook a fuel pressure gauge up to that. This is my fuel pressure kit made by SUR&R, Deluxe Fuel Pressure Adapter Kit. I can't remember where I got this, but I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find it. But it has a lot of different fittings. Okay, I think this one right here is it. So let's plug it up. Yes, perfect. Okay, here is my pressure gauge. We'll plug it up here. So I'm going to stick this on the windshield there so I can see it when I prime it or even crank it. What in the world? I guess I'm hooked up to the return line. I don't know. I'll just switch them and see. I thought I was on the right one. Maybe I wasn't. Let's switch them. Let's see what happens. All right. Let's try this again. There's the gauge. Prime it. Don't guess it's going to prime. Let's just try to start it while we're watching the gauge. So it's got fuel pressure. Or is this regulator blowed out? I mean, that seems like a lot of pressure. Let's think this through for a second. So we know this is the fuel pressure line, and it goes here. And this one is the regulator, which was spraying fuel like right back at us. So I'm going to have to tee in a fitting here. That way we can see if it's just going right back to the tank, like the regulator's blowed out. Let me do that, and we'll figure out what in the world's going on here. So here's a T. Turn the valve on. All right, I got it all teed in. So if the regulator is just, if it's not holding pressure and it's just going right back to the rail, that's a problem. All right, let's try it again. What? Did something just fly off? Ah, it popped off. How am I going to keep that thing on there? It's not clicking on. Ah. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, but I had to hook up a zip tie to that fuel line and then anchor it to the rail because it keeps popping off. Yeah, these are the things you got to do to troubleshoot these cars. So let's try this again. All right, 5th time's a charm. We have fuel pressure. Let's try it again. Get a prime. I mean, it's up to 60. And that's plenty. What in the world? I mean, it's got good fuel pressure. It's setting right now at like 50. I know that's plenty to keep this thing running. Thinking. It's got a Hitachi MAF sensor. That's a good one. Let's try unplugging the MAF sensor. Don't think that's going to do anything, but we can try. All right, I unplugged the MAF. See if it starts. Oh my gosh, it starts right up. Did that really just happen? It's got a brand new Hitachi MAF sensor on it. What in the world? I'm gonna plug it up while it's running. Yeah. This is crazy. Hitachi's a good brand. I never would have guessed that. Maybe I should have checked it first, but we're not done yet. Let's pull up. I want to see what these grams per second are saying. I mean, you know, how much error is it reporting? A brand new Hitachi MAF sensor? I mean, am I wrong here? Is it going into a default strategy and not using the MAF and another, you know, like the O2s? I don't know. Let's see what it says on the scan tool, what it's reporting. Okay, 0.9 grams per second. Let's crank it. I mean, that don't seem out of the norm. Huh. Let me unplug it. I'll take the scan tool out there. I'll unplug it. And it didn't change, but let's start it up. So now it should start up. I have it unplugged. That's really weird. I just don't believe this brand new Hitachi mass airflow is bad. I just find it hard to believe. That's what the OEs use. A lot of them are Hitachi. It's a really good brand. I mean, but I could be wrong. It's using a default strategy. So it's not using the mass airflow now. And it's running fine. Let me look at the fuel trims. Let's look at the fuel trims. I mean, this don't seem right to me. I would think that bias voltage would already be pulled down. And it's sputtering whenever I give it gas. Like it's lean. I mean, is this oxygen sensor not reading right? Because it's not switching. I mean, 0.06, that's lean. This thing is running so lean. And this just don't seem right to me. I'm gonna have to do some reading to make sure, because it's not even switching. The downstream's not really supposed to switch. It should for a little bit, but it's not. I mean, it's 0.0. It's so lean. It should be between should be around 0.5, between 0.3 and 0.8, not 0.0. This, I'm not sure about this voltage. I mean, I know they use a bias voltage, but it should have came down by now. when I plug the MAF in, it just quits. All right, I'm just gonna look up that code and read, because I just need to find out if this, I just don't believe this MAF sensor is bad. I believe it's going into default mode. I think there's something going on with this oxygen sensor, but hopefully I'm not going down a rabbit trail. But let's see. Found the voltages that it should be. So if it's less than 3 volts on the upstream oxygen sensor, it's running rich. And that wasn't the case. We had more than 3 volts. I mean, it was always above 3, and it indicates that it's running lean. But what's more interesting here is this is the downstream, see, sensor 2, and it was reading less than, it was like 0.03. So it was definitely less. So it's actually running lean. We've already determined that we're running lean on the upstream and the downstream. So if you go down, we don't need to look at that. This is also, so where they're both lean, both the upstream, which is S1, and S2, lean. These are the possible causes. So if you start here at A, it wants you to check the PVC hose and check air induction system. So I think we'll take apart the air induction system and just see if there's anything going on. It's quick and easy. Okay, let's see if there's something going on with this air system. What in the world? That's the wrong filter. I mean, there's a lot more space there. That's a red flag. This is funny. Let's keep looking. See what we find. I don't see nothing. Needs the right filter. It's not clogged up. I mean, you can see all the way through it. I wouldn't think that'd cause a lean condition. Okay, so I'm starting to run out of clues here. I have a Toyota Tacoma 2006, and it looks like the MAF sensors are the same. I know OEs use a lot of the same MAF sensors across the board. So here it is right here. This is my Toyota. And let's just steal this MAF sensor and see if it makes any difference. And as you can see, it's a Hitachi Toyota, but it says Hitachi there. Okay, don't think this is gonna fix it, but we can try. Holy crap. What the heck? Did he order a fake sensor? I mean, I bet you that thing is not real. I bet you it's a fake. Let's pull up some fuel trims and see what they look like. Because it's running with my MAF sensor in it. Oh my gosh, and now it's switching like it should. Look at this. You seen on the video before, it was pegged lean, just straight line. Let's look at the downstream. Yes, 0.16. Before it was literally .0 something. Let's look at these trims. They're good. I found this box in the console. I think this is the MAF sensor box. Made in China? That Hitachi's supposed to be Japanese. I'm going to spray this out with the air gun because what I think is happening is all this is like just fine pieces of really dusty, dry. It's going in this MAF sensor and causing it to not report correctly. That's the only thing that makes sense. So I'm going to spray this thing out with the air gun, clean all this out, put it back together, test drive it like 2 or 3 times. I'm not going to record all that, but we're going to make sure this thing's fixed. Okay. All right, here's our new filter. As you can see, well, look at the difference in size. Oh my goodness. There we go. Okay, let's drive it. All right, let's drive this thing. Okay, it's running great. All right, I'm on the second test drive and this thing is running perfect. So now all we got to do is get back to the shop, scan it, make sure that lien code is gone, and we're finished. Let's read fault codes. No fault codes. Boom. So what's the takeaway to this? Don't overlook the little things. I usually always check the MAF sensor first, but it had a brand new Hitachi in it. I would have never guessed that it had dust particles in it. That's the only thing it could have been. You've seen the acorns that were like dust. Crazy. So what proved that is when I put my MAF sensor in for my truck, it started up and ran fine, and the oxygen sensors were back online, or they were controlling like they were supposed to. Crazy. Anyway, I really appreciate y'all watching, and check out some of my other videos. Catch y'all in the next one.